Sorry, honey, I found a wonderful fiancé. Are you upset that I'm happy, jealous? My sister's words made me feel a mix of anger and sadness. People who always look down on others seem to end up with ugly attitudes. My sister used to be cute, but now her face looks twisted with arrogance. She doesn't just look down on me, but on my husband too. My anger boiled over and I couldn't stay calm anymore. My name is Amy, I'm 27 years old, and I work at a printing company. Although I work at a printing company, I don't operate machines. I'm in the design department, where we create flyers and catalogs for different businesses based on what our clients need. Even though digital technology has reduced the demand for printed materials, designing is still a busy and fulfilling job. I'm grateful to have clients who ask for my work. Compliments like the Christmas event flyer was adorable and well received make me genuinely happy. This job feels like my life's purpose. I sometimes think I might stay single and focused on work for the rest of my life. One day, while I was thinking about this, my father was hospitalized with appendicitis. When I went to visit him, a young doctor greeted me with, "Hello, are you here to see someone?" That doctor was David, who is now my boyfriend and recently became my fiancé. It's funny how you never know when or where you'll meet someone who can change your life. Even though I always say work is the most important thing, I found myself buying wedding magazines as soon as marriage became a topic. I guess I'm more excited about getting married than I thought. One evening, I was flipping through a wedding magazine while having tea in the living room. Suddenly, my magazine was snatched away. "Hey, what's this? A bridal magazine? Why are you looking at something like this?" It was my younger sister, Sarah. "It's none of your business, Sarah," I replied. "You're thinking about marriage? You should look at yourself first. You don't even have a boyfriend." "I've never been without a boyfriend. Speaking of which, my current boyfriend is." And just like that, my sister started bragging about her boyfriend, even though no one asked. My sister has always been like this. Unlike my plain appearance, she's very cute and has always been popular. Everyone around her spoils her. Besides our parents and me, everyone else always agrees with whatever she says. As a result of everyone spoiling her, my younger sister started to think she was the center of the world. She grew up arrogant and eventually began looking down on me. "Don't come near me, I don't want your face reflecting off mine," she'd say. "Even if you study, you won't get good grades, so why bother trying?" Another guy confessed to me, "It's tough being this popular, you must be so jealous." She would go on like this endlessly. Even when our parents scolded her, it was too late. Her personality stayed the same, and she never stopped verbally abusing me. Growing up like this, my younger sister now calls me you. Fed up with her constant bragging about her boyfriends, I finally sighed and spoke up. "I do have a boyfriend actually, we're engaged, and I'm looking at these bridal magazines because we're getting married soon." Hearing this, my sister froze. She gave me a sarcastic smile and said, "Oh really? Someone actually likes you. I wonder what he sees in you." "He likes my cheerfulness and positivity," I replied. "That sounds like a lie. He probably treats you like a housekeeper." "I plan to keep working, so he knows I can't be the perfect housewife," I added. My sister reacted with exaggerated surprise. "Wow, you're going to keep working even after getting married? You poor thing, you must be marrying a poor man." Her words annoyed me. She just couldn't stop looking down on me. "Money isn't an issue. He's a doctor, so his income is stable. I just want to keep working." When I said that, my sister suddenly went quiet. I sighed and went back to my room. As I left, I heard her mutter to herself, "A doctor, I see. The first thing you do when discussing marriage is introduce your fiancé to your parents," so David came to my house. Everything was going smoothly until my sister showed up. The moment she entered, the mood changed completely. "Oh, so this is your fiancé? He's quite handsome," she said with a smile. "Sarah, I thought you had plans today," I said, surprised to see her. "If my sister's fiancé is coming over, of course, I cancel my plans," she replied. I was relieved when I thought my sister wouldn't be around, even if it was just by chance. But now that she was here, I had a bad feeling. Back when we were students, my sister had stolen my boyfriends multiple times. After we grew up, I stopped dating, and since she kept getting new boyfriends one after another, it stopped being an issue. But with her here now, I felt uneasy. Still, I hoped that since we were adults, she wouldn't try to steal my fiancé. Yet, as I feared, my sister started acting all friendly with David. I noticed him blushing, though I hoped it was just my imagination, but my worst fear came true. "Can we pretend this whole marriage thing didn't happen? I've decided to break up with you and start dating Sarah," David said. I was shocked. I never thought my sister would steal my fiancé, even now that we were older. "Sorry I stole your fiancé, but it couldn't be helped." David found me cuter and more charming. He proposed to me so passionately. Oh, it's a sin to be this cute, my sister said arrogantly without a hint of apology. David, now my ex-fiancé, added with a laugh, really, I had no idea you had such a cute sister. If I had known, I wouldn't have gotten engaged to you. It's good we broke up before the marriage. Seeing his twisted smile, all my feelings for him disappeared. All that was left was disgust. I'm glad I didn't marry you, a man who can so easily switch to another woman. I'll gladly gift him to you, Sarah. Sounds like you're just sore because you lost, my sister taunted. But I wasn't being a sore loser. I genuinely felt nothing but relief. The two of them, lost in their own fantasy world, didn't get it. Interacting with you both is a waste of time. Goodbye, I said, walking away from them for good. They're such sore losers, thinking we're the ones wasting time. We're never going to meet again. Bye, my sister said as they left, still looking down on me. After that, we never met again because our furious parents banned them from the house. I later heard that they got married, but it didn't matter to me anymore. 3 years have passed since I separated from my sister and her husband. Now, at 30, I'm still working hard at my job. During this time, one of my clients named Charles really liked my work and started requesting me for projects repeatedly. As we talked through work, he eventually asked me out for dinner and then on a date. During one of our dates, Charles proposed to me. I was really happy because Charles is a sincere person, and I believe he wouldn't do anything like my ex-fiancé. But the incident with my sister had left me with some trauma, and I couldn't help but wonder if something similar might happen again. So I decided to be honest with Charles. I told him about my sister and my ex-fiancé, even showing him a photo of my sister to gauge his reaction. But his expression didn't change when he saw her picture. He just looked away indifferently from the photo and gave me a gentle smile. I hate to say this, but I used to be pretty popular, Charles said. I've met more cute and beautiful women than your sister, but for some reason I didn't fall in love with any of them. I thought I'd be single for the rest of my life without dating anyone, but I was wrong. What do you mean? I asked. I think I have a good eye for people because of my job, he explained. No matter how beautiful or well-dressed someone is, they can't beat inner beauty. That's when I realized something when I met you, Amy. What do you mean? I asked, feeling a bit shy. I thought you shone very brightly, he said, smiling warmly. When we were talking about work, Charles said, Amy, I thought you were so bright and beautiful. You smiled so happily, and I could tell you were really enjoying your time with me. I felt that you were truly enjoying life, and I thought you were dazzlingly beautiful. What? Hold on, this is super embarrassing, I said, feeling flustered. But Charles continued, Amy, you are beautiful, more beautiful and charming than anyone else. I have never met a woman as wonderful as you. I really think of you as someone special, and I'd like us to date with the intention of marriage, truly. Stop. No more, it's too embarrassing, I said, blushing hard, but Charles kept complimenting me even after I agreed to date him. It was overwhelming, but sweet. Eventually, Charles and I got married, and we've been a happy couple ever since. Our married life has been smooth, and I feel like we've grown even closer than we were before the wedding. We share the household chores whenever we can, and since Charles lived alone for a long time, he might even be better at them than I am. His cooking is the best, especially when I'm tired. On our days off, we often go out together. One day, we went to look at furniture because Charles had mentioned wanting to see some. While we were in the bedding section, I suddenly heard a voice behind me. Oh my, I thought I spotted a plain-looking woman, but it's you, the voice said. I didn't have to turn around to know who it was. Even though 4 years had passed since we last saw each other, the voice was unforgettable. It was my younger sister, Sarah. Next to her was my ex-fiancé, David. Sarah's face looked harsher than the last time I saw her, whether because of age or her personality, I couldn't tell. David was standing beside her, smirking, but he seemed to have lost weight. What brings you here? She asked with her usual condescending tone. Nothing much, just looking at furniture, I replied. This place has a lot of expensive imported stuff. It's not really for people like you, Sarah said, her attitude as annoying as ever. David nodded in agreement. Sarah sneered at us. If someone like you comes here, you'll ruin the shop's reputation. We don't want people thinking we're poor. You should leave. Her harsh words annoyed me, but I decided it wasn't worth arguing. I stayed silent, but my sister and David only got louder. This is terrible. A luxury store is ruined by such a poor person. They can't afford anything. Yeah, the poor should just leave, they said, drawing the attention of other customers and store staff. Frustrated, I grabbed Charles's hand to leave, but he stayed put. At that moment, Sarah and David finally noticed him. Hey, who are you to her? Sarah asked. I'm Amy's husband, Charles replied. Sarah's eyes widened in surprise. What? You married this plain girl? Really? Are you her maid or something? That's hilarious. Charles responded, I help with the household chores because we both work. It's normal. Sarah laughed, oh, working too? How pitiful. I'm living comfortably as a stay-at-home wife. We eat out more than half the week and have a housekeeper. Sorry for being so well off. Her irritating tone and smirk only made me more frustrated. Sarah continued, sorry for taking such a great fiancé. Now you have to keep working after marriage and live a poor life with such a dull man. You two are a match made in plainness. Are you jealous seeing me so happy? You must be, right? It's just like you to marry someone who can't even support his wife. Keep suffering for the rest of your life, losers. I had reached my limit. I could handle Sarah insulting me, but I couldn't stand her talking badly about Charles. Listen, you need to stop, I said, but Charles stepped in front of me before I could say more. Nice to meet you. I'm Charles, your sister's husband, he said calmly. He handed Sarah his business card. David took the card and glanced at my sister. You say harsh things about Amy, but that's not true. There's no law that says someone has to be ugly just because you think so. And honestly, your attitude is worse. Sarah's face reddened as she snapped. What's ugly about me? Charles continued. A truly beautiful person wouldn't be jealous of her sister and steal her fiancé. Isn't that what you did? Sarah stammered. What are you talking about? Charles pointed out, people often get close to and want to surpass those they admire. Isn't that how you feel about Amy? Sarah seemed shaken by the unexpected truth in Charles's words. I had never seen her like this before. It made me think about her differently. Charles then said, you should ignore people who don't matter. If she tries to interfere, it's only because she's jealous. She didn't find Charles herself, so she's just envious. Sarah and David left, and we never saw them again. Sarah's jealousy was clear. She couldn't stand seeing someone else succeed when she couldn't, no matter how hard she tried. I'm not jealous, Sarah insisted, but she was struggling to argue. Charles replied, you're just trying to feel better about yourself by putting others down. A confident person wouldn't do that. They would hold their head high. Sarah's attempts to refute Charles were getting weaker. Just then, David, looking pale, broke the silence. He was nervously switching his gaze between the business card and Charles. What's wrong? I asked. David said, I've seen this name before. Charles Taylor, right? That's the name of the hospital where I work. Charles replied, yes, it's Taylor Medical Association. David's face grew even paler as he realized, wait, Dr. Taylor's son, the director and head of the hospital? Charles nodded, yes, that's me. I'm the grandson who took over the family business. David and Sarah were stunned. David stammered, are you sure? It could be another Charles Taylor. Charles continued, I understand you might not have recognized me, but I'm indeed Dr. Taylor's son. The company on my card is a famous pharmaceutical company. I heard about your story from my wife, and it's even worse than I thought. Sarah and David were at a loss for words. Charles then said, a job in medicine requires empathy. It's disappointing to see you mock and look down on others. Who would want help from someone like you? David tried to explain, but Charles cut him off. No more excuses. I'll inform my father about you. Prepare for the consequences. David dropped to the ground, head bowed, while my sister stood there in shock. We turned our backs on them and left, knowing we'd probably never see them again. I walked away feeling a sense of finality. Later, David didn't lose his job, but his salary was significantly cut, and he was removed from any important duties. His rude behavior had become a habit, and he was even cold to patients, earning him a lot of negative attention. Eventually, he left his job and struggled to find new work. My sister's financial troubles also became clear. Despite David's high salary, she spent money recklessly, and their life was difficult. David became emaciated from the stress. Once David's pay was cut, my sister quickly gave up on him and divorced him. She thought she could just find another man, but things didn't work out as she hoped. When we saw her again, she looked harsher and less attractive. It seemed like her true nature was showing. Her popularity with men ended, and she was left feeling alone. My parents told me she came crying to their house, complaining about not getting attention and feeling that I had somehow taken away her chance at happiness. My husband and I wondered if she had always been envious of me. Maybe she looked up to me in some way, but that didn't excuse her actions. In the end, our parents told her she made her own choices and needed to deal with the consequences. She disappeared into the nightlife, and I haven't heard from her since. As for me, I was enjoying a peaceful life, free from my sister's drama. I had a calm married life, a job I loved, and was looking forward to our family growing. As I looked at my computer screen, I gently stroked my growing belly, feeling content and fulfilled.